A new host? His first time? Well, how did he do? Well, we'll tell you what we think on the 9th episode of Saturday Night Review, and that starts now!
Live from Nipso Production Studios in the heart of America, it's Saturday Night Review, a podcast dedicated to the television show Saturday Night Live. With your hosts, Joseph and Dennis. And here's Denis.
Oh, yes. Go on. Go on with your clapping and your applause. Yes. Welcome, everybody, to the 9th episode of Saturday Night Review. He is Joseph.
And he is no joke, the Dennis Miller, ladies and gentlemen.
Not Dennis Miller, but I did sleep at a Holiday Inn one night, so maybe it's true. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah. And this is a YouTube podcast devoted to one of our favorite Saturday night comedy shows of all time, Saturday Night Live.
We love it.
We do love talking about it, don't we, Joey?
I love it. And here's what we have today for the kiddies listening at home. We're going to talk about some of the things that we liked in last Saturday's episode, namely the top three. We do top three, right?
Top three sketches that we saw in the show. Some things that we noticed, maybe some runners up, things that we possibly could have included on our list but didn't. We were going to talk about Weekend Update, and then we're going to talk about next week's host. So stay tuned for that. If you are listening out there, God, and you want to comment on the show, or you want us to read one of your comments on the show, or you have suggestions for the show, or if you just want to tell us anything about yourself and you want to treat it as like a Tinder app, if you will, please get a hold of us at nipsoproductions@gmail.com, or you can comment below this YouTube video. Either is fine, but we'd love to hear from you, all the fans that we have out there, the small handful. We are not single, however, I believe Linda is looking. If you remember Linda from last show.
Linda, are you single?
Linda in the booth.
Linda is, she's single, but she's coy, isn't she?
Yeah, she's given a signal. I can't tell you right now, but
yeah.
But anyway, Linda might be. We can hook you up with Linda, maybe that if you send us a picture and your daytime phone number. Okay, so listen, let's take a quick break here, and then we're gonna come right back, and we're gonna get right into the show from last Saturday evening with host Leiv Schrieber. So we'll be right back right after this.
Well, actually, hold on, just to make a correction, so we don't want to butcher the guy's name for the guests at home. What? It's actually Leiv Schrieber.
Leiv Schrieber?
No. Well, it's kind of it's similar to that. It's like you're almost getting it, but you're not quite smart enough to fully articulate it.
I have a Leiv Schrieber in my car, in my garage. I have a Leiv Schrieber in my car, in my garage. I use it to blow the leaves out of the way.
You're close, but then you just got to add that little inflection, Leiv. Like, I'm going to leave the party, but instead of saying leave the party, I'm going to say Leiv. I'm going to Leiv Schrieber the party.
I'm going to live the party.
Nope. Yeah, you're not getting it quite right. Leiv
Schrieber?
Maybe one more time.
Larry Tate?
Yeah, you got it.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. Thank you, Bruce.
Hey, welcome back to the SNL Review. I'm Joseph. My partner in crime is Dennis.
Hi.
We're coming to you live from the bathroom of a Five Guys burger joint.
Except it's one of those burger joints that's more brothel than burger joint. They just happen to serve burgers and fries. No, I'm kidding.
Lots of shakes. Their
Lots.
milkshake brings us to the yard.
We are discussing Leiv Schrieber and his hosting capabilities for last Saturday's episode on Saturday Night Live. And thinking about Leiv Schrieber, he's currently promoting the show Ray Donovan. Now, he's been in a lot of things, Dennis.
Yes.
Looking at his resume, it's very extensive. It's very diverse. Some of it comedic. He's been on Drunk History. He's been in, Oscar-nominated dramas. So he's a bit of a conundrum, if you will. But right now he's promoting Ray Donovan. And I have to be honest with you, Dennis.
Yeah.
And the viewers.
Yeah, great show. Go ahead.
Well, I'm happy to hear you say that because I've honestly never actually seen the show.
Oh, you haven't?
So I was hoping that you could. I mean, I think I might know what it's about. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, if you've seen it or if you haven't seen it. I'm getting the gist, just kind of looking at some pictures on the internet here. He's wearing a suit. It looks like a drama, I'm assuming. I'm getting the vibe that it's one of those courtroom dramas, similar to Perry Mason, except he's not defending clients. It's actually a paranormal.
Ooh.
He's actually defending the dead, if you will, and helping them come to terms with what they've done criminally, but then helping them cross over.
Wow.
So that's kind of what I'm assuming it's about.
Okay.
Am I way off base or?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm glad you said it because now that you said it, I have to admit I've never seen the show either. So, but I thought it was the show where he was first mate on a boat and they had a storm and they crashed and him and 6 other castaways were on this island. Isn't that what this show's about?
No. Actually, okay. Can I rethink this for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I don't think that's right. I'm going to say that you are wrong. I'm actually thinking that this is actually a dramedy. This is actually a dramedy. Ray Donovan is a dramedy. Okay. Ray Donovan is a dramedy about a father who just can't get it together.
Oh.
Dating sucks, but he's also got to raise the kids. He's got this teenage daughter who just does not get along with him, but he has to find a way to come to terms with the divorce that he's currently involved in, but also raising 2 kids and just being a dad in 2018, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm picking up.
Well, I looked at some pictures and I thought that Ray Donovan was a show about a guy with 3 kids that married a lady that had 3 kids, and he had 3 boys and she had 3 girls, and they had a maid named Alice. And he was an architect.
Okay. No, that's just the Brady Bunch, and I see what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Well,
I haven't watched the show, Joseph. I'm sorry.
Since 1975.
I haven't watched the show. I'm sorry, Joseph. I lied.
That's okay. Well, here's where I'm just going to apologize to the listeners and say that we have not viewed this show, but we gather it's pretty popular because he's hosting SNL. So regardless, Leiv Schrieber hosting SNL. Denis the Menace, what did you think of Leiv Schrieber hosting SNL? Pleased, not pleased, sort of pleased,
I will refer to him as the Ray Donovan guy from now on. The Ray Donovan guy was spectacular as the host of Saturday Night Live. I absolutely enjoyed him from the beginning to the end. I thought he did a great job. His monologue with having low expectations should have told us right away how good he was going to do. He did different voices, different characters.
Yes.
He felt very much like a cast member to me. I can't wait for this guy to host again. Mr. Schrieber, whose name I have a hard time pronouncing, he was spectacular, and that's what I felt about. I thought it was a great show, and he was a great host of it.
That's very nice of you to say. I
try.
am not so kind.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Here's what I want to say. I kind of want to echo what you said. I want to start with the monologue. So I felt the monologue, he definitely looked like kind of a fish out of water. And then when he went into the commentary about the elections. I was expecting kind of like a punchline, and it was just a genuine, heartfelt, thanks for being patriotic.
It was nice.
Comment about the elections. And so I was kind of taken aback by that. And I was like, okay, it was nothing spectacular. But then here's what I will commend him for. And we'll get into this with the sketches. That guy seemed to play along. Like every skit he was in, Like he had a voice, he had a mannerism. I'm going to say this, like I honestly felt similar to Adam Driver. You saw his acting chops in these sketches.
Yes.
And I really, really liked that. And that's something that, we kind of, with, previous weeks with Jonah Hill, it was like, okay, you've been in films, man. You've acted before, but you're not showing us that side of you. And I felt that Leiv, he came to the table saying like, look, I don't know how funny I'll be, but I will do any character that you give me.
Exactly.
And I commend him for that. And I honestly, like, I agree with you. I cannot wait to see him again. I hope that when he comes on the show the next time, that they utilize him more and say, okay, man, here's what you can do. Like you showed us this last time. Now let's do something similar to Driver's oil baron skit.
Right.
So
I felt there was a lot of fearless in him as far as just throw me in there and what do you want me to do? Southern accent, okay. This accent, okay.
Yes.
Wear a wig, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever you want. And that's awesome when a host appears that way, that he just seemed to come in and want to do a great job and want to help out the show as much as he could. That has to, I don't know, that has to be really a good feeling to the cast as well. So
yeah, he definitely seemed like a game player. And we love
I was
game
very
players.
happy. Very, very happy with him. I couldn't be happier. Even though I can't pronounce his name and I've never seen his show, I really, really enjoyed seeing him on Saturday Night Live and can't wait for his next appearance. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, hey, can I say this though too? Did you notice I saw something on Instagram on the throwbacks? He was actually featured, ironically enough, or coincidentally enough, he was featured on Adam Driver's SNL appearance.
Did I know that?
He actually just came into one of the shorts where Adam happened to be featured, and he was only just there, and he played himself in the skit. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So that's kind of like a precursor to what he was doing on Saturday.
Yes, well done. In my opinion, even better than Adam Driver, or as good as, I think at least you can say that.
I almost want to say, and I think the only thing that Driver has on him is that he'd done it before, and I think the next time he does it, I think we'll see that. Yeah,
I agree. Well, I guess now we can take another break and come back and talk about Weekend Update. Does that sound like a good plan?
That sounds great. When we come back, join us. Dennis and I are going to be talking about our first time doing something else similar to Mr. Leiv Schrieber hosting for the first time. We're going to be talking about first when we come back, so please stick around. Dennis, please don't be terribly disgusting.
I'll do my best not to. I'll do my best not to. Definitely.
Ugh.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
Well, isn't that special?
So it was like 2 a.m.
Right?
Middle of the night.
Oh.
Tennis court.
Okay.
Me. Her.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
I'm liking this. Okay.
I never, ever before played tennis in the dark, but it was so exciting. You have no idea how great it was. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's good. I'm sorry. I thought that was going to go somewhere else, but that's really cool. That is a first. That is a first, certainly.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Linda. Hi, Linda. We're back on.
Linda's giving the cue. Sorry, Linda. Sorry.
We are back on. We're going to talk about Weekend Update, but first we do have a sponsor.
Who is it?
Sponsors is Autumn's Eve, the pumpkin spice douche. The first intimate care item with a scent of all the bold, spicy flavors of fall.
Oh my gosh.
Because nothing says clean like warm, gooey pumpkin and hot, itchy cinnamon. Autumn's Eve, the pumpkin spice douche.
Autumn's Eve, thank you. Without Autumn's Eve, I mean, we certainly wouldn't have the promotional capabilities. So thank you, Autumn's Eve.
And Christmas is just around the corner. So, but before we go there, let's talk about Weekend Update on this show. Joseph, what were your thoughts about how Weekend Update performed last Saturday night?
Well, I'm gonna kind of divert from what I've previously said about Weekend Update. I was a little lukewarm on this Weekend Update. Here's what I will say. I'm speaking specifically in terms of Colin and Michael's kind of banter jokes. Yeah. Here's what I did love. So I'm kind of 50-50.
All right.
I love Cecily's microphone girl. I loved that. I really did. And
That
of
was good.
course, I mean, what can you say about, I'm going to say this wrong. Is it Lieutenant Commander Crenshaw?
Crenshaw, yes.
Crenshaw. I don't know if that was Pete's idea. I don't know if it was Lauren's idea. I don't know whose idea it was, but it was a terrific idea. And it's so in the spirit of SNL.
Yes.
Similar to what they did to the New Jersey governor with Fred Armisen. And I love the fact that he was game for it. So I'm going to say 50-50 in terms of just the jokes that Mike and Colin did, but the other stuff I loved. Your thoughts?
I'm with you 100%. The Pete Davidson and Crenshaw production from beginning to end was absolutely brilliant. First, Davidson talking about what a loser he is and what a surprise, I made a mistake, and is living with his mom. Yeah. And then for Lieutenant Crenshaw to come in and really did not look like a governor that was reading cue cards. Like he was really on it. He looked like he was playing a part. He was playing himself, but just, it felt natural. There was a good flow to it. He wasn't, he didn't look like he was, like I said, he didn't look stiff. He was into it. And then at the end, so you have the laughter, you make fun of Davidson, and then at the end you hit us with the never forget, which was amazing.
Yes.
It was just from beginning to end, maybe the best 4 minutes of Saturday Night Live we've had in a long time, just because of the humor and bringing someone in who doesn't do this and have them as refreshingly funny. And then to end the way it ended it was spectacular. And basically I said, this is how you handle controversy. And I don't know if it was Lauren's idea, whose idea it was to even come up with this, but the fact that, Davidson had this controversy the week before, they faced that monster head on. They addressed it. They said, yes, Davidson, I screwed up. I'm sorry. And we're going to make the most of it. And we're going to make it a building experience. And that's exactly what it was. I thought it was a really brilliant thing.
Yeah, totally. And let me just say, like, kind of, I don't know, like reiterating, Crenshaw's statements about bipartisanship. And I think that's, and I don't know, here's the thing, it depends on the person, I guess, obviously, but I don't know anything about Crenshaw, but I completely agree with what you said. And bipartisanship, I mean, we can find something. Yes, as a common accord. And I think, like, when I talked about Leiv's monologue, I think I was almost kind of expecting that tone that Davidson took. So it's like comedic, but then we're going to solemnly kind of like move into that. And it was completely appropriate and well-deserved. Did you catch, I don't know if you were listening, did you catch Pete Davidson leaning in at the end when they were giving their sign off? And did you hear what he said?
I did not hear what he said, but I saw him lean in.
He leaned in, and viewers fact check this. Dennis fact check this. I'm pretty sure, because I thought this was kind of cool. I heard him say, "You're a good man."
Oh, I think I heard that too. You're right.
Yeah, you're a good man. And I don't know, and I would love to know, Dennis, like behind the scenes, how much of that was like kind of planned out? Did Pete say, "Okay, I'm going to say this, you come in with this"? Did he know that he was going to mention his father? Because I mean, I felt like that garnered.
Maybe he didn't.
I don't know. I felt it was kind of maybe that's why incited him to kind of like say, "Hey man, thanks for you're a good man. I appreciate that."
He did seem a little taken aback by the fact, not in a bad way, but like pleasantly surprised that he would mention that.
Right, and it's worth mentioning.
It was remarkable. From Crenshaw and Davidson, both of them were just they were incredible. From beginning to end, and that was really classy of both parties, really, for Saturday Night Live to bring Crenshaw on and to address it. Yes, we shouldn't have said that. Well, I'll admit I laughed when he said it, and maybe Crenshaw did too. We don't know, Yeah. Maybe he thought it was funny too, but there was a lot of outcry, and it's one of those things where if people find it offensive, then I guess you need to really kind of think about what you said and address it, and so. He did, and whoever's idea it was, hopefully, I'd like to think it was Davidson and Michaels and all of them coming together and doing that. It was spectacular, and that Crenshaw would jump at the chance to come in and just kind of settle the masses and say, look, this is just a joke. Everyone kind of relax a little bit, and then, we can come together and don't, this guy, what he said to me, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't bother me, so it shouldn't bother you.
Because it's comedy.
Yeah,
it's comedy.
And he took shots at him, and
So
Good stuff.
I guess the next inquiry I have is Jeff Sessions. Is he coming on the show now? No? Okay. That'd be funny.
That would be funny.
I actually want to see the real. We didn't talk about this. I want to see the real Robert Mueller.
Yes.
Come
De Niro
on.
as Robert Mueller. We didn't talk about the cold
Yeah,
open.
we didn't talk about that.
McKinnon as Sessions did a great job.
I hope that doesn't go away, man. I mean,
No.
it's probably going to go away, but that is such a funny character. That she
the
does.
mugs. The mugs were
The
brilliant.
mugs.
She was brilliant. The mugs were brilliant. De Niro as Mueller coming in. Who saw that coming? Who saw De Niro coming on the show? Unbelievable.
Right.
So the cold open was also very good. It was a great way to start the show. Having McKinnon and anything, of course, is a great way to start the show for me.
Yep.
But then have her do one of her key characters to say goodbye. It was really, really, really well done. So great cold open. And, Weekend Update, the jokes work. But I imagine the real focal point of Weekend Update was Davidson and Crenshaw, and that was well worth the time.
Yeah. Yeah, completely.
You agree. All right. Well, listen, let's
I agree.
You want to take another quick break, and then we'll come back and talk about our top 3 skits from that show, because they do things called skits on this show, and we kind of look at them and say, oh, I like that, oh, I didn't like that. We'll tell you the ones we liked, maybe some honorable mentions, maybe some ones we kind of meh. After we come back from a break, does that sound good? Do you have to go potty?
I concur. Yeah.
Do you have to make the poops and the peas?
I have to make the poops and the peas.
Okay, you go do that, and we'll come back right after this, baby.
All right.
Go on. Don't get a bladder infection.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
That was awesome.
So there we were. We were in the basement, alone.
Yeah.
Their parents were gone.
Oh, yeah.
No one in the house.
Oh.
Right? Okay,
Naughty.
right. Yeah, so...
He's naughty.
So you know what we did?
I think I know what you did, but I'm afraid I'm going to be disappointed again.
Well, we were only 16. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Young
but,
love.
No one was around, and we watched a rated R movie. And
Yeah.
We watched a rated R movie, and it had cussing in it, and it had violence, and it was a comedy, but it was rated R, and we weren't old enough to see rated R movies, but we did. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
First time ever.
Yeah, I thought it would be something different other than you watching Tango and Cash with a girl in a basement.
Well, she liked the scene in she liked the scene in the shower. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Linda is pointing at us. I guess we're back on the air. I'm sorry.
Linda, come on. We're just talking.
Don't shake your head at me, woman.
Yeah. Sorry, Linda.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Joseph.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the top 3 sketches from Saturday's episode. I'm going to give mine. And then just so everyone gets their cookies, you're going to give your 3.
Cookies.
But I'm going to give mine first.
Okay.
So at number 3. So here, let me just say this. When you're making this list, I will say this. In my opinion, there were some duds on the show.
Oh, interesting.
There were a couple duds, and I'm just saying that in terms of, like, I did love the host, but there were a couple ones I didn't necessarily know where they were going or how that may dress. But here are my top 3. At number 3, I loved, if you will call it the short, I love the short Unity song about the bipartisanship.
We hate the same things.
We hate the same things. We hate the same things. And I thought it was kind of a social commentary, referring, of course, to the elections, referring, of course, to the political divide in the country. But then I like how they focused on the positives, which were the fact that they hated the same things, and these same things that they hated, like the beeping of the card, the chip card.
Oh, that card. Take it out. Take it
out.
Oh, my
Take
God.
the fucking thing out. So I thought that was really, really funny. So I had that at number 3. Number 2, you've already mentioned this. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a great way to start the show. You know where I'm going with this. It's Jeff Sessions' farewell. The cold open. We had De Niro come in as Robert Mueller. I thought that was pretty good. But Kate McKinnon just stole that scene. Like, I want to say more so than she has with like Baldwin. With like, I want to say that was like almost the best Jeff Sessions I have seen her do. And
Agreed.
I loved the cup. And I just want to say, you're gonna have to help me here because I cracked up when she pulled that cup out and she said, "It's not about racism, it's about heritage." And then there's a tiny little cup that she pulls out and it says, "JK, it is about racism."
Yes, that was beautiful.
And I love that.
That was funny.
I thought it was really good. And what some digs?
Did you notice? Did you notice the audible gasp when she pulled the cup out?
Yes.
The first cup, you were like, "I can't believe they bought that cup." And then the second one came out, "Oh, okay." But there were some audible gasps from the audience when she pulled that cup up. They're like, "I can't believe they're going to make fun of his racism."
Yes.
But they did.
They totally did.
Yeah.
They totally did. And I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, the family tree, there's my branch.
There's my room. That's where I'm.
Oh, God.
And then I loved, what did she say about the water bottle? She goes, and she
took her water bottle out, yeah.
Yeah, I got to stay hydrated. Oh, wait, that reminds me. And then she does that little, oh my God, it cracks me up. And then the grandfather comment. My grandfather always said, "Oh, here he is." And then he's the possum on her desk, you know?
Yeah.
So number one, in my opinion, and I know you're going to make me look like an idiot because you're going to disagree with me. Number one has to be unrefutably, undeniably paranormal occurrence. I cannot tell you how much that skit always gets me, regardless of who's the host. And I love how they almost kind of set these hosts up. It's almost like they put these hosts in there. I'm going from Gosling to I've seen Bree. I can't remember her name. She was in the Room movie. She did it. It's almost like they set him up and say, "Try not to laugh in this sketch. Try not to laugh." Like she is just, and I like watch McKinnon, Dennis. Watch McKinnon. She did it in this sketch. She intentionally, I feel she tries to go number one, 80 Bryant. She was goading 80 Bryant.
Absolutely.
And then when she did that little kind of acrobatic thing where she was talking about the upper decker, and then she gets on Leiv, and then like his face, he has to hide his face because he's cracking up.
And what's weird is you could hear him laughing, but you look at his face and it's just sitting there. Like you hear this. And you look over and he's not laughing. And you're like, how is he doing this? He's like a ventriloquist.
Right. So I'm gonna tell you, man, like I know I said they had some duds, but man, that one, like the ones that won for me really, really won.
Yeah, they were
those were
good.
Top three.
That's good. I have almost a completely different top three, which is fine. Because I'll be honest, the three that you mentioned were excellent. I thought a little different than you. You thought there were some duds. There were a couple duds here, but I thought overall this show was pretty strong, especially from where we've been the last couple of shows. Number three, the reason I put this on my list is not because of the skit itself, but because I felt like I didn't think it was going to be any good. And as it started to go, it got funnier to me. And I'm like, wow, I thought that was going to be garbage. And that was actually pretty funny. And that's Dave's outside the bathroom. Outside the women's bathroom. When it first started, I thought this is going to be an awful sketch. But as it went on, thanks to our host, Leiv Schrieber, he did a great job of not, I don't want to say want to save it because it probably was a good skit from the beginning. And I just had low expectations for it. But he did a fantastic job in that. So I put that on my list just because of that. I thought, I thought it's going to be garbage and it tried to be pretty funny. So probably other skits better than that are on my list, but that was my number three. And my number two was the paranormal experience that you mentioned with Miss Rafferty, who was McKinnon's character. And I never tire. You know it's coming, but you never tire of it. It's almost like seeing... I've said Matt Foley references a lot on this show, but it's almost like a Matt Foley reference. Here comes Matt Foley. You know what's going to happen, but you still laugh.
Yes,
or a lot of characters,
exactly.
Recurring characters. This recurring character, I know what's going to happen, but I don't care. I laugh. And that kind of leads me up to my number one, because I knew it was coming. But the Good Day Denver incest twins, or the Invest twins, I could not stop laughing, even though you knew what was happening. You knew it was coming, and they'd done that before. They've done that whole skit before.
Oh yeah,
with a guy that took pictures of zoo animals that they made look like was a guy in bestiality.
Yes.
But the Invest brothers instead of the Incest brothers, and the comments and all that, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop laughing. I laughed harder and harder and harder at that skit as it went on. And so I had to get that my number one. But there were certainly a lot of other skits on this show, in my opinion, that I could have gone with.
Yeah.
What were some other ones that didn't make your list or my list? And they're not being left at that point.
Well, no, here's the thing. That's what I appreciate about your list, is because it was different from mine. But I will say that the ones that you mentioned, in my opinion, were not what I felt were kind of duds.
Yeah.
So I actually I loved the Outside the Bathroom. The Invest Twins was like the first one coming back, I think. I did like that one. The ones that I didn't quite understand, and I was like, I don't know if I don't know if it was just me, I thought to a certain degree House Hunters was okay. I thought to a certain degree
okay.
It was okay. And the potties I didn't understand. I didn't really.
I didn't get into that.
I didn't get into that one. And here's the funny thing. You and I have a podcast, and
We were nominated.
No. We were on there. Yeah, come on. So those were, and I will say this. I want to say that I almost put Brothers on my list, and I know it sounds completely ridiculous, but it was just, I don't know. It was just kind of kooky.
Too.
It was kind of kooky enough and weird to do it,
Meeting the Campbells, just because it was kind of crazy.
Yes, exactly. And I did appreciate that one. So the ones, like I said, I'm going to say a majority of them I loved. The ones that you mentioned, I also liked. It was just those two that I was kind of like, well, I don't know what's going on there.
The Booty Kings, where it's a new world and they're learning permission and all that, was very funny.
I loved it. So that's why I said I'm going to, we're both going to stand by what we said. All in all, it was a really, really good show, and I loved what he contributed and how he contributed. And we kind of said this before. This is kind of what I'm saying. I think when we say he's game for anything, I think, they gave him in some of these kind of, I won't say secondary roles, but like House Hunters, it wasn't like that much of a stretch, or the Potties, it wasn't that much of a stretch, but he still looks like, okay, I'm going to take it, but I'm going to make it big. It's like a secondary thing. I'm not going to be the Campbell's one too. It's not the forefront of the comedic, formula here, but I'm still going to bring something. And I loved how he did that with every single sketch, Dennis.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well done. Well, it was well done. It was all well done. I agree. All those. It was a very good show overall, I thought. So congratulations. Yes, thank you, Thank you, Ray Donovan, for a great show. Well, at this point, let's take a quick break, and we'll talk about next week's host and what our expectations are at that point. You're watching the Saturday Night Review. Why not? Don't cost nothing.
Right. So can we just be clear about something?
Yeah.
So if you tell a story, just so you know, you can't. I mean, I feel like in storytelling, you're building up towards something.
Yeah.
So maybe the next time, I don't know, build up to something a little bit more, I don't know, erotic, or
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I get it.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about first. So when I mentioned first, our first time. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know we should have pre-planned this, but I just kind of thought it was more obvious than it was.
I understand.
Yeah, I know. So
I got it. Okay.
We're coming back with the first of all the first, right, Dennis?
Yes. I'm going to tell you about the first experience.
You are watching and listening to Saturday Night Review on the Nipso Productions YouTube channel.
You're gonna end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
So we were by ourselves.
Oh.
No one in the house. So we decided to get in the hot tub.
I'm hearing music. Yeah.
So we get out there and get to the hot tub. And that's where her mom and dad were. And they were doing it. Ah! That was disgusting.
Yeah, sorry. I thought, again, man, that was better. I thought it was going to be something else.
Oh,
but technically, I guess that was Yeah,
Yeah,
that
first
was
time that I ever saw that.
erotic.
We're going to talk about next week's host of Saturday Night Live here in this section, but before we do have a sponsor.
Go.
Sponsored by the Big Damn Plastic Bubble. Protect your home with a big old plastic bubble over your house. If you do, you're stupid. It's the Big Damn Plastic Bubble. Care of Eddie Murphy. All right.
Oh, Eddie.
Yeah. So let's talk about next week's host is Steve Carell. What do you know about Steve Carell there, Joseph?
I never heard of him, to be fair. So I'm in the same boat as Leiv Schrieber here. No, Carell, and you're going to correct me on this because you're going to probably, Google this or research this. Carell's hosted, I want to say, at least twice, right?
Yes, you were actually right. It's his third time. Very well done.
It's his third time.
Yeah.
And I am totally looking forward to this because my wife and I are big Office fans. I love Steve because Steve can play. You've seen him do drama. You've seen him do comedy. You've seen him do dramedy. So I think, like, similar to what we've saying about, what we have been saying about Leiv Schrieber and Adam Driver, I'm hoping he's going to do the same thing that he's done before, and he hasn't been bad before.
I haven't seen him do. He's done dramedy, but has he done Kamama? Which is, I mean, think about that.
He has.
No, okay. Has he done musical? We don't know. Probably at one time in his life. But yes, Steve Carell, I have high expectations for this show. Great comedic mind. Actually tried out for Saturday Night Live, didn't get the part.
Yes.
He should fit right in with my expectations for him are rather high. He should come in, fit right in with the crew, and it should go very well. It should be another strong show, I hope. Because he definitely...
I think it will be.
Yeah. Can you believe we went through this whole show? We didn't mention Lil Wayne. Yeah! Not once.
This is the best part. This is the best part, I have to say. The best part about Lil Wayne is that you are doing a Little John impression.
For Lil Wayne. Okay!
That's the richest part for me.
That tells you what I know. It's
Little
John Wayne. It's actually a combination.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a character. That's a character.
Little John Wayne. He's got little cowboy boots.
Yes.
And the little dreadlocks. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the guns that he has in his holsters aren't like the old 6-shooters. They're like Glocks.
Best. Yeah.
Oh,
Little
Dennis.
John. Little Wayne.
They're
the same guy, aren't they? Aren't they brothers? They're the little brothers, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're not even the same.
Well, we're not talking about music anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'll just sock that away for later and
skip
my
it.
Kids. Yeah, we can edit that later. So yes, high expectations for Steve Carell and you as well. I'm sure.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. And oh no, do you hear it?
Is it a Little Wayne song?
Kind of. It is a Little John Wayne song, and they're playing us out.
I hear it.
Yeah, we have a little time though.
That's sad.
This is a lot of fun, isn't it?
This is great, man.
Yeah, I enjoy this almost as much as other things I do. It's fun to talk about this show. We hope you enjoy thinking about Saturday Night Live as well, and let us know your thoughts. Come on, tell us what you think. Yes, no, that should be number 1. That should be number 2. We're all number 2. We look forward to another fine episode of Saturday Night Review real soon, but until then, he's still Joseph.
And he's still Dennis, not Dennis Miller, but he's still Dennis.
With a reasonable facsimile, and we are out of here. Did I ever tell you about the first time that a girl and I actually went to a drive-in and we saw 3 movies?
No.
Oh my god, it was awesome. It was Uncle Buck, and I think Cannonball Run was in there, and I think there was a Home Alone, one of the top, like Home Alone 3 or something like that. Oh man, 3 whole movies for one price.
I feel like you have to have better stories. Can you have better stories?
Okay.